Hey everybody, I've had a lot of requests for people asking what I think are the best products in every facet of makeup, whether it's foundations, eyeliners, blush, you name it. What items do I think are essential for people to have? And I think that's a really good question, and I really want to address it, and I started making a list of all these different things, and then I realized this is going to take me way longer than one video, so I'm going to break it up, and I'm going to do face products, eye products, lips, and then a final video on tools and brushes and things like that. So, and the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to go through every category. Like for example, I think everyone needs a tinted moisturizer, and then I'll give you a product suggestion. And if there is a product that I suggest that is a high-end item, I'm going to try to come up with an inexpensive alternative, because I know, money is very tight for a lot of people right now with the price of everything going up. So I'm going to try to work with you guys on that as well. But yeah, alright, let's get going on it then. The first thing I think everybody needs is a tinted moisturizer, like I said before, like I alluded to. I think the one that I like is Neutrogena's Oil-Free Moisture in Sheer Tint. It's SPF 15. This is very light, and yes, the tint works on everyone. You guys, more and more makeup companies are coming out with like tinted moisturizers, and they're not really tinted moisturizers. They are like light foundations. This, however, is very sheer. It's really much more of a moisturizer. It's not going to give you a lot of coverage, but it will help kind of even out your skin tone, especially if you've got really good skin and it doesn't need a whole lot of help. But this is something I use every day under whatever I'm using, pretty much. So that's the tinted moisturizer I think everybody needs. Secondly, I think everybody needs to have a long-wearing foundation. You never know when you're going to have that special event come up and you need some makeup that's going to give you outstanding coverage and something you don't have to worry about all throughout the night, So I've got a couple that I've been using. One is Revlon Color Stay with Soft Flex. It's got an SPF 6. This is for combination oily skin, and my color is Fresh Beige. And this one I use probably more during the winter months because it's a little lighter. Now I'm using more of the Rimmel Lasting Finish. This is a mineral enriched foundation. It claims to be 16-hour transfer resistant, which is true. My color is Soft Beige, and I love it, and I would use this as well if it's not right on my color. I could use it now, but I just think this is a better match. But either of these are great long-wearing foundations. They really live up to their claims on that. Third, I think everybody needs to have a concealer. If you're trying to streamline your makeup collection, maybe get a concealer that can handle under-eye circles and anything else on your face. And one that I think works for that is Maybelline Mineral Power Concealer. My color is Medium 0-1. In Sand is the name of the shade. And it's just one of these wand concealers. But what I like about this is that this really, especially for summertime, this really disappears into your skin. You know how some concealers almost make the problem worse because it's like, okay, something's underneath here and now you can really see the concealer. This just really melts into your skin, takes care of dark circles beautifully, and doesn't feel too heavy on any areas where obviously you don't want to irritate a blemish anymore by putting too much of an oily product on there. And this is really gentle, really good for your skin. So that's from the Maybelline Mineral Power line. Next, I think everybody needs to have a pressed powder. I use a pressed powder after I put on foundation and concealer to kind of set. So I don't always put it all over my face, but I'll definitely use it to set concealer around my eye area or wherever I put concealer. So a couple good ones are Revlon Color Stay Pressed Powder in light medium. That's my color. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. And that just, obviously, it's a color stay product, works great with the foundation, works well with other foundations, good coverage. The one I find I put in my purse a lot is L'Oreal True Match The color is W6 in Sun Beige, and this is one of those that opens up back and front with the sponge and the mirror down here, and then your powder on top. This has great coverage. This, if you just wanted to put on your tinted moisturizer and then put on some of this, you would have good coverage with that. It's just great for a touch-up. This is a nice warm color. There's tons of colors to choose from, so I recommend those as pressed powders. Next, I think everybody needs to have a bronzer, and I'm not just talking summertime. I think any time of the year, a bronzer will help anybody look more refreshed. And there are so many different shades out there these days. If you have fair skin, I'm sure there's a bronzer for you. If you have medium, even if you have dark skin and you want to somehow, warm it up, there's so many different shades right now. Bronzer is so much more common than it ever used to be. So a couple that I'm going to suggest are the Bonnie Bell Powder Bronze in Golden Tan. This is a matte bronzer, pretty much. If there's any sparkle in there, it is the most subtle sparkle in the world because it is a matte bronzer, and that's good for people to have if you really just want to alter your skin tone, basically. If you want to make yourself look like you got that healthy glow, a matte bronzer will not take you overboard and make you look unnatural. Another great one, if you are into the loose powder and the mineral stuff, is the new Maybelline Mineral Power bronzer in Sun-Kissed. This is just, I don't know if you can see the shade too well there, but this is a great shade for medium skin tones. It does have a little more shimmer than the other one, so use it sparingly. It doesn't take a lot, but just a couple great bronzers to have in your collection if you're trying to build that up. Another couple items I think everybody needs is blush. You need 2 shades of blush. That's just my opinion if you really want to have a good natural look. The first one is that I'm going to recommend is Cheekers in Plumberry Glow. And the first kind of blush you need is something that's kind of pinky, peachy. This is a little bit brighter than it's appearing here. But this shade is something you're going to want to put only on the apples of your cheeks. Give you that look of health, that nice glow. And then the other shade you need is something that's a little bit deeper bronze or like a deep peach. This color is Cheekers in Golden Pink, and it's a great contour shade. It can also work like as kind of an all-over face color just to warm you up a little bit, but using 2 face colors, especially if you plan on doing any contouring. If you contour with a color like this, it's going to look very strange, so you really need to think about it. Okay, I would get, flushed cheeks. That would be the apples of your cheeks is where that's going to happen. And then if you want any kind of contour, be very subtle about it. Use very good blending techniques, but use a color that would naturally create sort of a shade there rather than a bright pink or peach. Next, I think everybody needs a setting powder. I would suggest Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. Even if you don't use that whole line of foundations, I think this is so wonderful. It makes all your makeup, it basically just makes you look like you just did a flawless job on your makeup, even if you didn't. Somehow it just blends it all together. It just melts the whole look together and makes it look so great. And like I said, low-priced alternative to that is Maybelline Mineral Power, which they do theirs in a, at least from what I know, a pressed formula. This one is in light. It slides out here and gives you a sponge and a little mirror down there. I use it with a brush. That's just my personal preference, just for light coverage. So you need a setting powder. Those 2 would work. And then lastly, if you like mineral face powder, I'm going to suggest a couple to you. Bare Minerals or Maybelline Mineral Power. High-end drugstore end. Either of those they're very comparable. They both give similar coverage. Maybelline maybe even a little more coverage. But it's nice to be able to switch away from the liquids all the time. Do something that really is even better for your skin, which is the mineral stuff that's going on right now. So thank you for watching, and please watch the other videos that I'm going to have for your makeup must-haves.